Dream big. Figure out if you could have anything you want in this lifetime. Is it being a professional snowboarder? Is it being a world-class video gamer? Is it whatever it is? Dream so big it makes everybody uncomfortable, and then figure out going backwards, how did you get there? That's what I would say.
I'm Rob from A Life That Travels. I'm super lucky today to be with Sean Stephenson and Mindie Kniss. Guys, it's an interesting time of year in Australia. End of high school exams are just getting started right now. And we were just talking off camera about the fact that there's so much pressure on particularly young people, but everyone, to like work their shit out, you know? What advice would you guys have for somebody going into those end of high school exams about what comes next?
Tell you, baby.
I would say relax. relax, because sure, they're important. I wouldn't say, don't worry about it, but just relax. You want to do as great as you can, but honestly, it really, in the grand scheme of things, you know this, it doesn't matter as much as you think that it matters. So just relax about it, do as well as you can, and then just see what happens next.
I would say dream big. Figure out if you could have anything you want in this lifetime. Is it being a professional snowboarder? Is it being a world-class video gamer? Is it whatever it is? Dream so big it makes everybody uncomfortable, and then figure out going backwards, how did you get there? That's what I would say.
I was going to say, how do you dream big? That's such a good question, because I think, when you're young and you're at high school, your career counsellor, they push university at you a lot, like that's the only option. You guys have studied, right? You've gone all the way through.
We have gone all the way through. We both have doctorate degrees.
Yeah.
And that's very unique in our world of entrepreneurs, because a lot of entrepreneurs, either they've dropped out of college or they never went in the first place, and they're like, you don't need college. But honestly, I love having had that experience. And I do think it is important, because it's not about what I learned per se. Learning comes from books. Anybody can read a book, or now on the internet, you can learn stuff. But it's the experiences, the people, the connections, the relationships that you create that you don't get outside of that.
I want to be clear. I hated school.
High school? You hated high school?
All school.
All school. You stopped.
School.
From kindergarten to the last freaking second of my doctorate degree. I hated it.
It's true. I will vouch
Hated it. However, there's a lot of things humans hate that are necessary. Because of the doors that it opened, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
So there's some things that you gotta do that aren't fun that will then lead to fun things. Because let me tell you, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I completed it. However, if school is not for you and you feel like you've already figured out what you want to be doing and the rest of the world's like, you need school, blah, blah, blah. If it's not in alignment with your path, or as Mindie calls it, your heart path, your intuitive guidance system, then just chill out and follow what is there. What does your guidance system say? Because only you know what you're supposed to be doing on this planet. Everybody else is just an opinion.
It's true, especially parents. They're very, very well-meaning. They obviously want the best for you. Maybe other family members, friends, teachers, counselors, whomever. But truly, Sean's right. You're the only one that knows what's going to be best for you.
And so, what about that person who feels like, I do want to go to university, but I'm not passionate about something yet. Like, I'm lucky. I kind of knew what I was passionate about going into. Oh, that isn't true, actually. I kind of was passionate about something, but I wasn't sure. What about that person who's not sure?
So what I would say is study a lot of different topics. Look into lots of different things, like everything from food to archaeology to medicine to music to healing arts to creative arts. Like, go through the spectrum of all learning until something sparks you and you're like, I didn't know I love botany. I didn't know that I loved baskets and creating beautiful artwork with my hands. Like, you have to kiss a lot of frogs till you find that prince.
Nice expression.
Something that I always say is clarity comes through action. So you're not going to figure it out by sitting home and staying on your couch and watching television. You're just not going to figure it out. So just start with something. And a lot of the things that I recommend for people going into college, especially like that where they're not fully certain, is get all the essential stuff out of the way, all the required credits, get that stuff done, and then just begin to see what you want. Perfect example, I went in as a psychology major. That was what I was defined as. Now, I love psychology. I still use it every day of my life. But I took my first psych class, and I'm like, I hate this. It was terrible. So I then was undeclared for, I would say, almost like 2.5 years.
Hey, but you're still undeclared.
Right.
What does that mean?
After all this. So undeclared in
Not
the U.S.
choosing.
is you haven't chosen a major
Okay,
in
cool.
university. And in order to graduate, you have to choose something to graduate with. So it was coming up on my senior year, my 4th year of college, and my counselor was like, Mindy, if you're planning to graduate next year, you need to choose something. So what I did, and this is silly, but this is the way that worked out, I said, okay, well, what do I have most credits in? It happened to be theology, which I had no intention of going into theology. But that's what I ended up with for my undergrad because I had the most credits. I was just following my interest. All those classes I was taking in philosophy and other interesting things, comparative religion, that turned into my degree.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And now you guys, the last thing I wanted to ask you guys about, because you've done interesting things and you've studied, but now you've gone on and you're running businesses and speaking and doing all of these amazing different things. Changing direction. How important is it to sort of look beyond where you are right now and look outside your comfort zone?
Well, so Mindy and I both have matching tattoos on our wrists.
Nice.
I can show them.
Yeah, of the infinity.
Love it.
Infinity. And that means you're an infinite being. So Mindy and I don't think of ourselves as, I am only a what? A coach, a speaker, a business owner.
Entrepreneur.
So, as an example, this year I broke into comedy, doing stand-up comedy to clubs. I'm working on screenplays for movies. Mindy is intrigued by, share some of the things that have nothing to do with business that you're intrigued by.
Well, for instance, I have lived in Africa. I've worked a lot in Africa, and that's a huge passion of mine. So I just felt, how can I combine that into my business? That really has nothing to do with anything I was doing before. But last year we took our first trip as Catalyst Kenya.
Nice.
Took some clients over there to East Africa, and it was awesome. I mean, it was so great. So you can begin to pull in various aspects. For us, it works that we run the business, so we can kind of mold it into that somehow. But even if you're not running a business, you can definitely pursue lots of different stuff and then just see what lights you up most, continue to follow that path, and then, it will always guide you further and further on, see where you end up.
Ideally, you want to get paid to do what you would pay for. Ideally, you want to get paid to do what you would pay for. So like Mindy has this course called Heart Path. It's in Sedona. She gets to have this experiential learning out in the wilderness part of the time, reading books to the audience part of the time, getting them to
Meditation.
journal and meditate part of the time, interacting and socializing about your dreams part of the time.
It's
All
so
of that
true.
is
I always
ramped
tell
together.
the audience, I'm like, I would be doing this anyway.
No,
so
she
it's
is already
cool
doing that.
that you're here and you're paying me to be here as part of this, but I'd be doing it anyway.
Yeah, so figure out how can you achieve a lot of outcomes doing one thing that you get paid well to do.
You're amazing human beings. Where do people find you?
Oh, well, thank you. So online is the best, easiest place.
Yeah, not like coming to your house.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
in Arizona.
Here's our social security number.
So my website is mindiekniss.com. Rob will tell
I'll
you how
drop
to
that in
spell
the-
that.
Mine's SeanStephenson.com.
Nice. So good to chat with you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for your
you.
advice.
Thanks for having us, Ralph.
Good luck with your exams, guys.
Bye,
Good
kids.
luck, guys.